Good evening to everyone. We knew Supersport is not going to be an easy team. We knew their strengths, mainly their set pieces, their second ball situations and their transitions. I was even talking to the players. I said, this game is very close to the game of Mbabane because Mbabane also poses the same threats. Very strong on set pieces, very good on transition, and has a lot of speed to come out, but there is not much play in the midfield. So we tried. We could have scored in the first minute. Fortunately, it was not to be. I think we were not ruthless enough first half, which left a scare because it looked like maybe it's going to be a long day. But second half, I think we improved. Our creative zone became stronger because we saw the space in front of the three centre backs behind the two midfielders, which is why we decided to go with a lot of creative players all at once to try and maybe just inject a little bit more energy and creativity in our attacking play, which paid off immediately. And then we still got more chances after that, and we did not take. That is my only concern, that we are closer to achieving an objective of creating a lot of chances. Everybody here will know it's not easy to create a chance against a team like Supersport. Supersport is one of the stingiest teams in the league. But for our boys to come out the way they did, it was really encouraging. My only concern is that probably we are not ruthless enough. If you were to check our race chart in the map, in the games that we are playing, you check our passing maps and our passing networks, you see that we are doing a lot of positive things, but when they don't translate into a number of goals, it always causes you problems. Thank you.
Good evening, Coach Karao Pasha here. Coach, I mean, you speak about bringing in more creative players. Timber's one as well. He comes in, he does what he does. To some football supporters, one might say it's an injustice to football not to start such a player tactically, operating at a high vanguard. Why is he not starting football matches, Coach? What exactly is the problem for him not to start? Because I think with that, to some extent, tried out of his career, why is he not starting football matches when he performs like that? And I'm sure you see with Bafana recently.
Yeah, no, it's a very good question. It's a very good question. I don't think there is a problem. Is there any thought that there is a problem? Because we have to periodize our players, our most important players. We've got 6 competitions to play in, and it is very important for us to make sure that we don't ban our 34-year-old very early in the season. And it's very important, and it's something that is going to happen up until maybe you start to look at it as a problem. But there's no problem. He understands how many games we are going to play this season, and if we go for 90 minutes with Temba every match at 34, how far will he go in this season? And for me, in our periodization, I think it's very important to make sure that we take care of Sundowns, not your wishes and aspirations, but Sundowns. Thank you.
Yeah, Coach Velile here. I was going to ask a similar question around Mshishi, but maybe I was going to say, in terms of the variation of how you would like to use him, because I see after you brought him on in terms of the number of chances that were created, because in the first half I felt maybe the service was not better, also to someone like Ikis as well.
He could have scored in the first minute.
Yeah. But in terms of, is it about, because I think in the previous game against...
It's periodization.
Yeah. So there are games where you will start...
He started against Stellenbosch.
Yes. That's
Can we get another question?
Coach, maybe just we'll come back and then let's just get straight to the point with that. Yeah, we'll come back to it. Sir.
Coach, so is this, and I don't know if it does affect the players, criticism then that goes to
Lucas Ribeiro, where sometimes he would try to maybe move in a bit and try to score, and then he would be accused mostly from fans for being a bit selfish. But today there were opportunities where one would think maybe he could have taken more shots, but he chose to pass. How do you balance that, or how do you try to get him to balance that way? Because he gets into positions where he can score more, but sometimes he just chooses to pass when a feeling is he could have maybe went for goal. And then on Aseko, so he's got some good aggression for someone a bit small, very aggressive, going forward as well, powerful. What have you made of him so far, and what more, especially given his age, do you think he can still give?
Yeah, maybe starting on Ribeiro, we we can't control the narrative of the general public, but sometimes it is true that he hangs on to the ball a little bit too much, and he does not vary his game the way we would like him to vary it. But that is part of his major strengths, because sometimes when he takes people on and scores, we are all celebrating. So it will always be difficult. That is why a player should play with a very clean and open mind, because exactly what you are saying today, because there's been a lot of criticism about him hanging on to the ball. The first chance he got after dribbling inside with his left foot, immediately he's taking a shot there. But because now he's trying to please the public, to please the general opinion, he ends up deciding to pass or try something else which is not his strength, because his element of surprise is what makes him the player that he is. And that is why we expect him to help us with his dribbles. They are very important to the team, though it is also important for him to vary his game from time to time, so that opponents cannot read exactly what he's going to do. And that is the issue. And on Tiwani, I think I said it from the beginning of the season amongst the coaches that I think we are in for it here. This boy is going to surprise a lot of people, because he's got the right game intensity for his age, very strong physically for his age, and technically very good, with a very big engine, but surprisingly tactically very aware. And that for me is probably my biggest surprise in a player like him. And I think the coaches who worked with him before, even from Sekhukhune, must be congratulated for the good work that they did on that boy, because I really believe he's going to be a very big player for Sundowns this year.
Okay, Chawazi far post. Coach, I think Koliso and Tebogo have been very key in recent seasons. We didn't see them today, not on the bench. What's the situation?
No, they are still very important players for the team. You must know that. They are very important players, and they are still going to come in and help us. But after the game of Mbabane, it was very difficult for us to change the team that much, because we achieved far more than many other games. One would say it was Mbabane anyway. But we have played a lot of these preliminary games before, but we've never achieved 855 passes, 730-something passes completed. The highest XG probably in the last 170 matches. The number of shots at goals, I think we had 21, and 11 of those were on target. The goalkeeper, in my opinion, should have also gotten a Man of the Match award. But unfortunately, when you win like that, and you are resting some players because of the load they had coming all the way from South Sudan, and you are saying they had played 290 minutes, because those players, both of them, played 290 minutes, then when you go to Supersport, you say, no, let's continue. Because sometimes it's also important to show these players that we also have confidence in them. We are not just using them in the absence of certain players. And that culture is going to happen a lot this season, considering that we've got so many competitions. And it's important that we make sure that we keep everybody hungry and interested. That's very important.
Coach, good evening. Congratulations on the win. There was excuse me, a bit of a general feeling of tension, certainly from the outside. I'm not sure if it was the case within the Sundowns camp ahead of this game. Did you feel that? Did you feel that there was you had to win this game, an unusual thing for match day 1, which is a derby as well? And did you feel that a lot of, I know you say you don't subscribe to public opinion a lot, but did you feel that a lot hangs on what happens here, taking into cognizance the changes that had been made and were much topic throughout the day today?
Tension caused by what?
That's what I'm saying. The changes that had been made. One.
Which changes?
We knew long ago that Tebza is not going to play, Kuliso is not going to play. With the previous games, if previous games had anything to do with it, we suspected that Mshishi was going to start on the bench again, and perhaps also with, I know you wanted the weekend, recent results not looking like the Sundowns of old.
No, man, I'm not sure whether you are following Sundowns as much as I do. I've been at Sundowns for 12 years. We've only played 3 finals of the MTN 8 in those 12 years. And in those 3 finals, we won 1 when I was leading the team. We lost the other 2. When we lost to Vets in Bombela, and we lost to Pirates at Mapita. So it is not new that we've got our bad luck when it comes to MTN 8. If in 12 seasons we've only been in the final 3 times, it's something that is a cause for concern for everyone. But now, because we were bombed out of the semi-final, I did not know of any tension. Maybe I'm ignorant. Sometimes it helps. But the truth of the matter is, I did not see any tension, and the fact that Tebogo was not playing and Mutau was not playing, and you knew too early, it's a bit of a surprise to me, because we only made the team yesterday. And we must also show respect for the players that are performing at that point in time, because sometimes we are caught up in our private politics that makes us to ignore the good performances and the opportunities that are given to other players. Because if you think of a player like Rivaldo Kutsie, who has suffered so much with injuries and all that, and when he gets an opportunity and performs the way he has performed, he deserves that opportunity. All these kids, we've got probably 40 players in the team. All of them are waiting for just one small opportunity to get a chance. And if we don't do justice and give them those opportunities, we will not see what they are capable of. Today you are talking about Tiwane. If I did not give Tiwane an opportunity to play, how are we going to know that Tiwane is a good football player? Lebu has been injured in and out of every season. And good professional, good attitude, he gives everything to the team. He deserves to get an opportunity. And all these players that are getting opportunities, they also deserve. That's justice, that's transparency, that's fairness, that everybody must get an opportunity. If in training we feel he deserves the opportunity, but if you feel he deserves an opportunity from wherever you are, not in training, then what can we do? Because the truth is, all these players are looking up to me to give them an opportunity. And when I don't give these opportunities, I will not see what happens. Last week, on Saturday, I gave Malibongwe Khoza an opportunity to play. Not many people have seen him. He has not played in the PSL, but he should get an opportunity so that I can see and compare with what I have seen in the past. And it will be like that. We will have this discussion probably throughout the season, or probably throughout the time that we have allocated for me in this club.
Yes, evening, Coach. Coach.
How are you?
I'm good, and yourself, Coach?
I'm good.
I'm good. I have an example in my head that when Jurgen Klopp was asked why Liverpool did so bad after they won the league or the Champions League. He mentioned Virgil van Dijk's injury and said they can't play the same way they played when he's back. How big has the return of Ronwen of a difference has it made? I know it's it's a goalkeeper, but look, you speak of the improved XG in the previous game and also today, and also he also does his work. But how big of a difference does he make in the team for the team to play the way that they've been playing?
That's why he's South Africa's number one, and that's why he's in the Ballon d'Or as one of the nominees. It's his quality, it's his level, it's what he's employed for. It's why the club chose him ahead of everybody else to come here. So that difference is expected from a player of Ronwen's caliber. And besides the football side of it, he's a very good leader. He's a very good leader that probably in the change room you need in your team. And that on its own brings a lot to us. And in terms of the XGs, he obviously contributes, but I think that is a team contribution because it's the number of chances you create, probably from good build-ups, probably from good consolidation phase, because in the Mbabane game we did not get as many build-ups where we were under pressure because they were sitting back. So in that game I would attribute his leadership, I would attribute his vision as probably something that played a bigger role, because we were not under pressure, pressed by the opponents. They were allowing us a chance to play, but how we were playing from the middle third to the attacking third, I think that's where there were a lot of positives, and that's why we created so many chances, and that's why we achieved what we have achieved. Thank you.
Yes, Coach Dennis from Kiko. Yeah, Coach, I feel sorry for these questions. They come thick and fast.
No, I like them.
Yeah.
Remember, I used to ask a lot of them. I was a teacher.
Yes, Coach. Yeah, we have explained the issue of Debza and also probably also. I just wanted to find out regarding Sipumbule, his state in terms of his physicality, in terms of his mental state. Is he at a good space at the moment to play for Mamelodi Sundowns? And then the second one, a few days before the transfer window period, one player that's got you goals in Sudan and has been linked to several teams. Will it be interesting maybe if maybe you can find his way to football?
Which player is that? Sorry.
Police.
I would love to get any top player, to be honest. And Apolis is one of the players I like. But I think as many coaches would say the same thing. You don't always get what you want in life, because we already have around 40 players. But it will be important to get a player like that if an opportunity avails itself. But I don't think it will avail itself, because I know Esperance was interested in him and they could not get hold of him. So I wouldn't want to talk much about something that at this stage is immaterial for me. Going to Sipumbule, I think he has been training very well. But he still has issues because he's coming from an injury, but he's already in full training. He's a very good player, his quality is second to none. However, there are some areas of his football that must improve. But he's a very good football player, and we are happy to have him around.
Sorry about that. We'll take the last 3 questions.
3? Okay.
Coach Fortato from Home Radio. I just want to ask, Coach, you said that you've got 40 players in your dressing room. How's the energy in camp with all the players having to manage personalities and just the synergy that's there in the team?
To be honest, I must be honest with you. I think it has improved tremendously over the last few weeks. Maybe earlier on we had our own storming phase because we were a new technical team. and we brought new players, and that phase in the development of team dynamics is always likely to be there, because people are asking themselves a few questions: whether will I be used by this coach, whether this system will work, whether this will work. That is normal in any team environment. Then we went into a phase where things started to norm in a norming phase. Then we are beginning to form relationships, and we are in a forming stage now. And but at the same time, we still have to be in the last phase, which is the performing phase, where we start to deliver what is expected of us, because now you are no longer asking yourself questions. You understand that this system that this guy wants is going to be played, and regardless of what, because I believe the players we have are good enough for this system, and we've got a lot of players that will help us when we play the way we play, and now everybody is beginning to buy into it. And at this stage, I think managing the group is becoming easier and easier. But I must also commend the leadership of Coach Steve, the leadership of Coach Ronwen, Kennedy Mwene, Wendell Robinson, and the rest of the technical team, because when you are dealing with football players, you can only have influence probably in 5 people. And maybe the rest, maybe I'm helped by a physiotherapist. Maybe the physio has got 10 people where when he says, hey guys, let's go, let's win this match, maybe players are more keen to play for him. That's why it's a team sport. That's why you need everybody around you. You cannot afford to think you are the only person who does something in a football team. It's very difficult.
Coach, how have you handled this period, especially with the spotlight and almost every decision that you make being under scrutiny? And what is it that has kept you sane?
One, I'm helped by the fact that I'm not on social media, so I don't listen to all the rubbish that people would say. So that helps, because sometimes you would be emotional from just maybe the pictures that people send and put in their thing and talk rubbish and say, ish, why is he saying this? So because I'm not on social media, I survive. But also, I'm a big boy. I've been in football for more than 20 years now, and I know what is expected of me, and I know sometimes I will be able to keep the job for long, and maybe if circumstances don't allow me and I don't do well, I know what is most likely to happen. And for me, that is the most important thing in life. In life, it's important to accept that you have to face the realities. And the good thing is that I've got a very high self-esteem. I'm very confident. In my ability, I'm very confident. And I know what I'm capable of. So it's not what an opinionated person says that defines me. Because other people can't even manage their own lives, but they've got big opinions about what you are competent on. So if you listen to everybody, you end up losing your mind. So for me, it's always important to trust my gut feeling, to trust my competence, to trust my abilities as a human being, and to know that sometimes I can do so well, but maybe luck might not be on my side and circumstances might not favor me. One thing you must know, I'm very capable of taking decisive decisions. That's one thing I'm good at. If you can check some of the top players that were respected in my previous clubs, when I say I no longer feel you are helping the club, I take that decision and I move. And that helps me a lot. If you go back to Golden Arrows, you check what happened to Y2K, what happened to Pelapagati, what happened to Peret, Amazulu, and all these players that were influential in those teams. But when I feel you are not going to help the team at that point in time, I take the decision. But one thing good, I'm a very good human being. I don't keep grudges. When you are ready to perform and give the team what it needs, I will always embrace you, because I must be a bigger boy. I must be the father to these kids. If these kids are looking up to their leader to make sure that he is also fair to them. Just like in any other family, there will be good moments, there will be bad moments, there will be punishments, there will be rewards, there will be successes, there will be failures. It's a story of life.
Last question.
Coach, you've been here for 12 years, like you've said. You had obviously a stint as a co-head coach. This is now the time as the leader. So obviously you've built a strong mentality of being surrounded by such a huge club, but the experience of now being the main man, the guy who needs to sort out all the issues, is it a lot more pressure that you feel than previously being an assistant or sharing duties, because everyone's looking to you for answers if there's issues in the camp, whether it's big or whether it's perceived as big?
Maybe to refresh your memory, I was once the youngest coach in the league, and I was coaching a team that was the only one in the province of KZN because there was no other PSL team at that time. And as the youngest coach, I had to pull through, and I pulled through. And after so many years after that, I can't be fazed by opinions and issues and all that. I trust my ability. I trust the people I work with. I trust the players, and I trust my leadership. And I also trust the group that we understand what we are trying to do, and we are clear in our minds that it's going to happen. And Sundowns is a very big club to all of us, not only me. Even the president himself always says Sundowns is bigger than him, the person who pays our bills. So who are we to think if I was to be out, this club will not continue? It goes the same way to players, to coaches, to everyone. This club will win with or without me, with or without any player, because it's a big club. It has 2 or 3 players per position. It has 2 or 3 coaches. It has so many things that will always make it invincible. It's a big club. It's an institution that one should be proud to work for, because it's an institution that really embraces its employees and gives the support that is needed to everyone. You cannot complain and leave Sundowns and say, no, they did not give me this, they did not give me that. They give you everything you want as a coach, and thus you are only expected to deliver. So if I could do with no resources, others would say limited resources. If I could do with no resources, then if I'm in an environment that has got so much resources, I've got no excuse. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues, and good night.